Aquarium.
John Mazza, the emotions he brings to winning have been stagnant for 2 years. He could erupt today. Last year, Parker Bone III won $109,000 by virtue of making 9 telecasts. The money's nice, but he wants the title. ESPN presents the Professional Bowlers Tour. We're looking at Harvest Park Bowl, the host site for the Brentwood Classic, located in beautiful Brentwood, California, the fastest growing city in California, located about 70 miles east of the Bay Area. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Durbin, and today we're on what many call the left coast, and we've got a battle of left versus right, as we have 3 left-handers on the telecast this afternoon and 2 right-handers, highlighted by our number 3 qualifier. He's won once in his PBA career. We saw him a few weeks ago when he finished 5th at the Tournament of Champions, looking for victory number 2, Ricky Ward. Our number 2 qualifier keeps making telecasts, 9 last year and 2 so far this year, but not winning tournaments. It's been 12 telecasts since he last won. He hopes to put an end to all of that nonsense here this afternoon, Parker Bone III. And our number 1 qualifier has won 6 times in his PBA career. He is always entertaining. He's always exciting. Looking for victory number 7 here today, John Mazza. My partner, Marshall Holman, right now is with the 2 right-handers on our telecast.
Thank you very much, Mike Durbin. I am with Justin Romick, the number 5 qualifier. Justin, last night in that exciting position round, you had to bowl Pete Weber just to get here. Now, it doesn't get much easier. You're bowling against the best player in the world today, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. What's your strategy?
Well, I know Walter, he's bowling great, and he's probably going to hit the pocket at least 10 times this game, so I just hope that I throw a few more strikes than he does. I know he's going to bowl a great game. It's just going to be up to me to hopefully carry a few in a row.
All right. Good luck to you, Justin. And we are with Walter Ray Williams. Now, Walter, I don't think you need any added incentive to bowl well, but you are the hometown guy. You're only 20 miles from home. Does that give you any added pressure, or is it fun for you?
Well, it was a little bit of pressure. Thursday, I was trying to make the cut for the top 24, and I wasn't doing very well. And I looked back, and I got all these people cheering for me. I said, I better give them something to cheer for, and I started throwing some strikes, so hopefully I can do that today.
All right, good luck to you. And you can count on them cheering for Walter Ray Williams, Jr. They love him here. Mike, they're ready to go.
Thank you, Marshall. We're using lanes 17 and 18 here at Harvest Park Bowl. First time that the PBA has been at Harvest Park Bowl. Been in the Bay Area before, but the Brentwood Classic is a new tournament to the tour. Justin Romick is going to start the match on lane 17. Justin, just 29 years of age, 5'9", 165 pounds. Sends it out there. Perfect start, Marshall.
Oh, it's a great way for him to start, you know, and in the practice, his last shot that he threw on lane 17, he took 4 right out of the center, so he's got to feel good about getting off to that start.
And of course, the great Walter Ray won 5 times last year, voted the IOF PBA Player of the Year for the 3rd time. That's why right there.
And you can hear the hometown crowd. They are very, very much pro Walter Ray Williams, Jr.
Well, they got reason to be.
Absolutely. It's got to be fun. You know, I've never had the opportunity to bowl in front of the hometown crowd, you know, because Medford is so far away from Portland where we bowl, but Walter's got him here, and they're certainly on his side.
For the double, try and get out quickly. And runs. 7-pin a little delayed, but it fell.
A little bit slow on the 7-pin. And, you know, I watched them during practice, and neither one were striking a lot, but what they were doing, Mike, is they were playing a little deeper on the lane, trying to carry the oil down to build a shot.
Now, is that legal, Marshall?
It most certainly is.
Okay.
They
just a thinking man's game.
Well, it's the changing of the game from what it used to be to what it is now. You have to do those kind of things.
Justin trying to stay with the great Walter and leaves a flush 4-9 on lane 18. Bad break.
And he'll throw what I would believe would be a hard and straight shot. Needs to get the ball just left of that 4-pin. Slide it into the 9. It is a makeable split. A difficult one, but makeable. so close to being a strike, and
Yet it's a split.
yeah.
Open frame, the second frame for Justin Romick.
Well, you know, he feels good about the way he threw that ball, but he got the worst possible break he could get. Now trailing by 22 pins, and you don't really need to give Walter too much of a head start.
Justin has won 3 times in his career. His biggest win was the 1994 BPAA U.S. Open title when he won that in Troy, Michigan. Beat Parker in that particular event.
Yeah, no stranger to pressure.
Right back in the 1-3 on lane 17. Kind of a wry smile coming out of Justin Romick.
Yeah, he's not feeling very fortunate right now, and I think he'd like to have just a little bit of help from Walter, but I don't think Walter's going to comply. Well, I was right that time, but it's pretty easy making predictions when you watch Walter throw the ball. You can take a look at Walter's style here, the way he gets the ball out onto the lane. It's forward roll that does the trick for Walter Ray Williams Jr. And boy, you like to see your ball end up in that part of the pocket.
3 in a row. Lane 17, trying for strike number 4. He's yelling hook, but the ball wasn't listening.
No, that one got a little bit wide.
All right, got it a hair wide. Do that.
But he's doing the commentating, isn't he?
Walter is mic'd as usual.
Keep it direct.
And he's his best friend when he's out there.
At the 2-pin. No trouble for old Deadeye. After 3.5 frames, Walter Ray Williams leads by 31 pins. Justin Romick is working on a strike. We'll see if he can cut into that lead when we come back. Stay tuned. The Brentwood Classic is being brought to you by Ebonite. Bowl to win. Big frame here in the 4th frame for Justin Romick as he trails by 31 pins, but he can cut into that lead, Marshall, with a couple of strikes.
Yeah, a very important shot. Now, will he throw the ball a little harder and stay where he was standing before on this lane? I believe that's the way for him to strike. Well, he stayed in relatively the same spot. Didn't get the projection down the lane. As you can see here, he's got a very, very simple style, 5 steps, starts the ball in the second, shoulder high, a little bit of a bent elbow, doesn't project the ball far enough down the lane.
Well, lane 18 proving Justin Romick's undoing as he has opened in the 2nd and 4th frames to fall way behind, 43 pins behind the greatest player in the world.
And Walter, I believe, had the choice of lanes. So it's not Justin's fault that he's got lane 18 as the lane he's going to have to finish on. That was Walter's doing.
Back on lane 17, trying to get back on track with a strike. And, nope, I was going to say and does, but the solid 10 didn't cooperate. So no breaks for Justin Romick so far.
No, he's thrown very, very good shots on the left-hand lane. He's had a couple of strikes, and then the 10-pin on the right-hand lane. Neither one of them had to be opens, but they were both wide open splits.
And in that title, when he won at the Hilton Hotel, he came from 5th to 1st, and there were 3 left-handers on that telecast that he disposed of. But if that's going to happen today, he's going to have to make a big comeback.
Yeah, he's still smiling, but boy, he needs to figure out that right-hand lane.
42 career 300 games.
There's not a lot that Walter hasn't done.
That's it.
Oh, the old solid 10 jumps up
That's the way
there.
you want to throw it, though.
Yes, Walter, that is exactly the way you want to throw it.
Yeah, and Walter finds himself in the position he wants to be in. Right now, he just knows he needs to make quality shots. And he knows that he can and should make those shots. By virtue of that large lead.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. I asked him if it's an advantage being the only right-hander if he wins this game.
Well, it could be an advantage if the left-hander struggled today, but they've had a pretty good reaction all week. I kind of expect them having a good reaction today, so it's just a matter of how well they're going to bowl. Hopefully I can win that first match and go right through the left-handers.
He's done it before.
And he's looking very sharp right now.
Gets the light wall shot hit. Quite a contrast here. Justin Romick in just his 9th telecast. Walter Ray, or I guess this is probably number 10 for Justin, and Walter Ray in number 88.
Yeah, there's a vast difference of experience. Even though Justin has 3 titles, has a major, he needs to figure out this lane way wide on the right lane, and he's lost.
Yep. Leaves just a 1-2. Could have been worse, but like you say, he has no clue on the right lane.
Now, as you can see, this ball goes way, way wide. That got a good 3 boards wide of where he wanted it. It didn't come back, and you know, if he would have struck in the second frame instead of leaving the 4-9, if it had been just a little bit lighter in the pocket, his whole mindset would have been changed.
The little things that can change any sporting activity, and especially bowling, as he converts the 1-2. But we see the difference after 6 frames, 44 pins. Walter Ray cruising along.
Yeah, and it is not a done deal yet as far as Justin's fate in this game, but he needs to start. He's got to get the strike on 17, and then he has to figure out how to do it on lane 18. As you see, his 97 PBA average.
No trouble with that lane. Justin Romick, after 6.5 frames, trails by 44 pins. Walter Ray, is he going to finish it on out? We'll find out when we come back. Walter Ray on lane 18, leading by 44 pins in the 7th frame, working on a strike, and just put this match away with a couple more strikes here.
And he wants to continue to make good quality shots, and if there ever is a tough shot, it's the one coming out of commercial. This is his 88th telecast. Walter knows that.
Hook a little bit. Hook a little bit. Oh, baby.
And he has it. Senior PGA immediately following today's bowling. Stay tuned as the best senior golfers take to the links in Florida for the GTE Classic. Stay tuned for final round action.
54 pin lead with 3 frames to go. Walter Ray Williams Jr. just taking care of business as usual.
Boy, that looked good as soon as it left his hand. He's satisfied with just a 4 pin, I guess.
Not that much.
A little left, not that far.
He's just trying to make the good shots. He knows that the only way he could possibly lose this match is if he does something foolish.
Yeah.
And it's not likely to happen.
At the 4 pin, changes balls, goes straight at it. And we see just how it went this week. Walter Ray got all the way up to first at one time. It's in the top 5 after the 3rd round.
He struggled. Walter struggled on Friday.
Did he?
Yes, he did. But he had enough pins built from the early rounds that he was able to hang on.
Well, Justin finally figured out. I asked Justin about whether 97 would be his breakthrough year.
I don't know. It's off to a start. You know, making a show this early in the year is you know, a good way to get the year going. But it's so tough. There's guys keep bowling well. Walter Ray is up there every week, and it's so tough making shows just with trying to beat our staff members. So hopefully this year will be a year breakthrough and maybe get another title this year at least.
Sounds like he has reachable goals.
Yeah, he does. And right now his goal is just to make a credible finish. And it doesn't look like he's going to win this match, but he can put some pressure on Walter Ray if he can continue to strike here on his good lane.
Well, he does, keeping his faint hopes still alive.
He's going to make Walter show up. It's a 33-pin lead right now for Walter Ray Williams Jr. If he continues just to fill frames, he'll win this game.
Got to do it, though.
Yeah, he still has some work left to be done.
That's it. That's it.
Another quality Another quality shot as we see Paige Pennington, Walter Ray's lovely wife.
Well, that puts him in the position that he could open here and still win the match.
With, I think if he gets a 9 fill, it would shut out Justin Romick. You think Walter can get 9 pins on 2 balls, Mike?
Well, boy, I'll tell you, if I were ever a betting man, I would take odds on that one.
Looking to just keep it in the pocket.
Looks good.
He said that's good as his mom looks on.
There's his mother, Esther. Celebrated her birthday a couple weeks ago by watching her son win title number 22. She wants to see him win title number 23. And
So does he.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
does Paige. At the 10-pin. Has the spare. Walter, fast start. Then on cruise control, but every ball in the pocket.
A very professional game that Walter Ray Williams bowled. His carry wasn't as good as he would have liked, but he was fortunate. He didn't have to do a lot this game. Romick didn't put the pressure on early enough.
Walter A. Williams Jr. finishes with 227. Justin Romick now trying to finish it out. Could strike out for 214, a respectable score. But a little bit short in this match. We see he's going to take home $3,500. No trouble with that lane.
No, he's got it figured out now, and I know he's kicking himself saying, doggone it, I could have made a much better game out of this.
Justin Romick a little bit short in this match as Walter A. wins. When we come back, we're going to look at an average builder talking about different types of rolls and releases.
Beautiful Brentwood Lanes, Harvest Park Bowl, excuse me. Walter Ray Williams Jr. will now take on Ricky Ward. And if I'm Ricky Ward, I want to get off to a fast start.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you, Marsh. The crowd is really behind Walter. He's drawing energy from that. He's hitting both lanes, as we can see there. 7 strikes in the opening match. Leaves the light 7-pin.
Probably the worst shot he's thrown in either of the 2 games.
A little bit better than that. Let's try my spare ball.
Why am I here? Walter's taking care of everything for us.
He's in charge all the way. Cross lane at the 7-pin. Straight at it.
And no trouble with a single pin spare for Deadeye.
But he has given Ricky the opportunity to get out with a quick start like you were talking about and get ahead.
And you know he wants to come out fired. He's got to get a little bit of pressure put on Walter Williams as soon as possible.
Nice opening shot.
Yes, it was, and he ran that ball out a little bit. He threw the ball. You saw him clinch his fist.
Doing a little house cleaning there on lane 17.
Ricky with a 227 average to qualify third. The scores this week, I would put them in the moderate range.
Amazing that averaging 227 is now considered moderate,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It wasn't in the 70s and 80s. Those were high scores.
For the quick double. Has it. We can see a relatively small field of only 100, but they averaged 208, 213 to cash, and not too much different to make the top 24.
No, and that's, if I could dial in the kind of averages I'd like to have for a pro tournament, 216 to make the top 24 would be very, very good.
Walter drills it in there.
And now
go ahead, Mark.
and a very important shot for Walter, both physically and for his mental well-being, to let Ricky Ward know that, hey, Ricky, I'm here. And now we're
I'm a
tied.
22-time champion.
Yeah. This shot here to even up the match.
Hold, carry.
Oh, the solid 10. Pin comes over, but doesn't hit it. Walter talking to that ball all the way.
He was telling that ball to
That's where
fade.
we want to throw it.
That ball was left of his target, but it did hook out. It held pocket, but the 10 pin didn't fall.
At the 10 pin, straight at it. So he's at a 7 and a 10.
He's hitting the pocket. As you can see, we're going to take a look at the pin action. Watch the 6 pin, second to the right, wrapped right around the 10.
Boy, it never really came close, did it?
Not close enough for Walter's liking.
Great opportunity for Ward here to jump out to even a bigger lead. Beautiful shot. I talked to him about off to a good start. What are his goals for 97?
And into 96, I set the goals for 97 to come out and just believe in myself and take one week at a time and make good shots each and every frame. And so far, so good. 2 shows in 4 weeks, so I can't complain.
He's a nice young man. Pretty much says what he feels. 20 pins up, trying to make it a 30-pin lead and really put some heat on Walter Ray.
And does. Wow, does he look good?
He's starting to get excited.
Walter, 4th frame. Weird hit, leaves the 7 pin. So the carry has suddenly left Walter Ray.
Has not had a good break in this game, and his opposition hasn't missed. Right now, Walter is certainly concerned. There are 6 frames to go. He's 31 pins down.
Boxing on the Deuce. Hector Lopez challenges Darrell Tyson in a 10-round junior welterweight bout from the Hale Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. Join ESPN2 later tonight, 10 p.m., for all the boxing action. Walter Ray, 5th frame, trailing by 31 pins.
Oh, come on.
That ball was bad off his hand. And once again, Walter, he's very honest with himself. He threw that ball and he said that was terrible.
But he knows he's falling further and further behind.
Yeah, he knew that was a bad shot. As he makes the spare, the 2 pin is no problem. The problem is he's not striking, and Ricky Ward is.
Ricky Ward defeated Walter Ray in match play. Great game there, 250 to 248. And as long as Mr. Ward keeps striking here, we're going to stay with the action because there's always a possibility of a 300 game. 5 in a row for Ricky Ward.
He's on his way. He's got 7 frames to go. Harvest Park Bowl will give Mr. Ward a $10,000 check if he were to shoot the 300 game in this match. If someone shoots 300 in the title match, Harvest Park's going to make it 50,000.
Ooh. Wow. Trying for number 6, leading by 42. Doesn't make it back, leaves the 3 pin. Still a good start, easy spare for the young player.
Yeah, and right now, there's Fred Forrester, the co-proprietor of Harvest Park Bowl. I wonder if he's happy that he just saved $10,000. I don't think he cares.
Wait, but he's got to have insurance on it, doesn't he? Or
yeah, you would think so.
Ricky Ward at the 3 pin, has to hurry, and just barely gets it.
Oh.
Everybody oohs and ahs, but he has a 41 pin lead. Can the great Walter Ray come back? Well, we're going to find out when we come back, and we want to make sure that you're back with us. Stay tuned. We're back at Harvest Park Bowl. 6 frame action, 41 pins the difference, and this man trails.
Well, he needs to start striking. He needs to get that crowd rooting for him. Get the energy level up higher.
That's it, he says, and he's right, of course. But knowing and doing are two different things, and he has to do here in the 7th frame.
And he has to do it now. He's got a possible 248 game. Right now, Ricky Ward is working at a 239 pace, so Walter can certainly put a lot of pressure on him, but he needs to keep it going because he blows a little air into that thumb to help give him a little better feel, a little more secure grip.
He commanded those pins to fall down.
Well, that's about as animated as you're going to see Walter Ray get. He was definitely wanting that strike desperately.
It was like Moses saying to the Red Sea, split.
As he now is only 31 pins down.
Of course, he didn't really want to split. I mean, didn't realize that I was being crossing over there as Ricky.
Oh, look at that messenger strike. Woo. Now that is the pin action of the 1990s.
Which pin is it, Marshall? The head pin?
I'm sure that's the head pin. You watch this ball going far from the left-hand side, working way back in. Here comes that head pin, and it just slaps it out.
Was going to miss it in front, but did a 360 pirouette.
Yeah.
And Baryshnikov it down.
And he loved it.
Uh-oh. The 1, 3, 7, 9. Washout, no loss in count. If he makes it, same as a solid tap.
Yeah, and he came in light on lane 17 on his prior shot on that lane, and then that shot was even further to the left, and all the lefties said that lane 17 hooked harder. He's hooking it at it, Mike.
Oh, and he goes by 8 out. He loses 2 more pins in count. Suddenly, Walter Ray, with a couple of strikes here, can take the lead.
Very good. Walter Ray now really back into this match. Only trailing by 20-some pins.
Oh, leaves the soft 10, doesn't get the kick out. Big shot right there.
Well, if Ricky doesn't open in the previous frame, then that is an absolute must strike. Right now, Walter Ray's down by 18 pins. He would have liked to have that strike, but he can still win the match.
Cross lane at the 10 pin.
And there's Walter Ray with Christopher Sedlicki, 14-year-old from Chicago, Illinois, who was at the tournament in Reno courtesy of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Walter just wanted to wish him his best, and we certainly send our best as well.
9th frame. Walter Ray must have a good foundation here.
Looks good. And a little bit of a courtesy hometown nudge for Walter.
Well, he says, I need that hometown nudge.
Take a look at the way this 6 pin, I believe it is, it just sort of leans on the 10. Come on, you can do it.
Leaned it over. Ricky Ward
On his good lane.
6 pin. Not going to fall.
And right now, Ricky Ward, if he makes this spare, he can still strike out and shut Walter out. But if he does not get 2 strikes in the 10th frame, Walter can come up and win the match. Much closer than it was about 5 minutes ago.
First thing first, as the spare, he must convert.
And he likes to hook it at these.
Ricky Ward, 9th frame, as we see the difference, 18 pins.
Now, what has got to be going through Ricky Ward's mind right now? He's going into a situation where he needs a double to shut out the great Walter Ray Williams Jr., and he's going to a lane that he hasn't been close on.
We could see the oil on his ball right there as the track of a 3/4 roller that we talked about in the average builder this week.
Needs to compose himself, needs 2 strikes. Oh, what a great shot. And that adjustment does not surprise me. He went light. He knew he had to get the ball more full into the pocket.
He did.
And he leaves the 8 pin.
Easy spare, avoided the split.
But Walter Ray Williams is not shut out.
At the 8 pin. Has it easily. The count semi-important, but not vital here.
No, he's working on a 224 pace if he were to strike here. If he does get a strike, it would force Walter Ray to get 2 strikes and 8.
Okay.
So he wants to get as many pins as he can.
Gets them all 10, 224. 1 error in that game.
And a big one. Really, he had the match well within his grasp. It was a lot like what Walter was doing the last game, where all he had to do was keep making quality shots. Now Walter's got a chance. And I wouldn't want to give him a chance.
The graphic tells the whole story. Has to have this first one.
That ball was a little bit high, Mike. A little bit high. Now, does he go for the same shot now? I think he's got to make a little bit of it. He's going
asking for a re-rack.
Doesn't like the way the pins are spot. Generally, what he's looking at is the 1-3 pocket. It might be a little wide. In fact, from this angle, it looks like the 1-3 was a little bit wide.
Wide meaning more of a separation?
Yeah, and you want the
re-rack, please. That's 2, right?
Asking for a double. I think actually the 3-pin is setting in, Marsh.
Yeah, look at it. It's actually a little bit closed.
So he's looking at a solid 10 if he hits flush on that.
I'm sure that's what's going through his mind.
You see the PBA's website on the break right there.
Yeah. And here's Walter Ray was given a chance, a very, very big opportunity for him with this strike here. A good chance to go on to the next match.
Boy, what a walk. I don't think he got out of that clean.
That ball was off his hand a little bit further down the lane. I'm sure he's very, very surprised and disappointed, and I'm sure Ricky Ward feels real fortunate.
Walter Ray coming up short in our second match of the evening, or the afternoon. Takes home $4,500. Just didn't quite do it. Ricky Ward is the victor over the great Walter Ray. We'll be back to take a look at our top finishers right after these important messages. Now let's take a look at the top finishers for the Brentwood Classic. Just missing the telecast. He lost the last game. Last week's champion, Pete Weber.
Danny Wiseman, the Pro Bowler's all-time percentage leader for television victories at 730, finishing 12th.
Former Rookie of the Year. We saw him earlier at the TFC telecast, Jason Couch.
And who can forget Brian Himmler, finished second last week, also made the telecast in Austin.
And our 1996 Bud Light champion, our statistician, Philip Ringener. The bowling industry mourns the loss of American Bowling Congress Executive Director Darryl Dobbs, who died this week at the age of 54. Chief Executive Officer of the ABC, more than 2 million amateur bowler members, Dobbs is acknowledged as one of the most innovative leaders in bowling history and was instrumental with the development of the sport's collective voice known as Bowling Inc. He will be missed.
Make the most of it.
Handshake between Parker Bone III and Ricky Ward. Parker now from Jackson, New Jersey, is 33 years old. Has won 11 times in his career.
But it's been a while.
Likes that start.
Well, if there's a more fluid player on the left-hand side, I don't know who he'd be.
And we see the final score, 224-216. Ricky Ward upsets Walter Ray Williams Jr. Definitely an upset.
It most certainly is an upset. Walter Ray would be the favorite no matter who he's bowling. Ricky just needs to continue to do what he did the last game.
Just like that is the 8-pin, a little stubborn, but it fell.
And we were discussing during commercial whether Parker would make Ricky finish on the left-hand lane, where he did have a couple of errant shots. You said you thought he should do that. I agreed with you. Parker must have agreed also.
Heard us, huh?
He's listening.
We see him match play that Ricky Ward defeated Boy, he beat everybody. How come he's not leading the tournament? Well, he's leading this game.
Well, he remembered the proper way to bowl on lane 17. No problem with that delivery, and off to a nice, fast double start. As you can see, Parker's average qualifying second at 227 and a little change.
Right around what Ricky Ward's was, too.
Very close.
Oh.
And we watched him in practice on lane 18, coming in light. Fortunate to have knocked down the 7-pin, only leaves the very makeable 3, 6, and the 8. Pardon me, that's the 3, 6, and the 9. Here I go again, having to think in left-handed terms.
As we see, the lefty-righty battle is over. The lefties have prevailed. And
Parker
he prevails on that spare.
He throws the ball hard and straight. As you can...
Now, Parker's had a trouble, but you had some trouble in a couple of years there, too. You want to talk about it?
Well, there were a lot of telecasts in a couple of year stretch and wasn't able to get a victory. Parker is going through somewhat of the same problem. It's a good problem to have. It's a good financial problem to have. But I know Parker would like to get the monkey off his back, win the tournament. He doesn't want to get to 18 telecasts like I had before he wins.
Well, what my question, though, is 18 telecasts without a win. You're smiling there.
Well, I don't know why I was smiling. I wasn't smiling when it was happening, but I was smiling today.
Time does ease that memory a little bit, huh?
Yeah. I finally figured out a way so I can make a telecast week in and week out.
And that's working with me.
Sitting here with you, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, but the making better money than I was making back then.
That's good. That's always good. Ricky Ward trying for 3 and has them. So off to a quick start again.
Well, he seems to have command of both lanes once again.
If he executes, it's there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the way he's looking at it. He knows he just needs to make a good shot. Probably feels a little more comfortable on lane 18 as he takes a re-rack on lane 17. I would imagine he's looking at something in the 1-2 pocket.
Leading by 20, can increase it to 30 if he strikes in the 4th frame, lane 17. Oh, he's perfect.
Well, Ricky Ward with the first 4 in a row, and now Parker Bone finds himself in a position to being 30 pins down, going into the 4th frame, came in light on this lane, has to make some type of adjustment as we see his vast career earnings of 1.2.
Yeah. Is he going to soften up a hair on this shot? What do you think?
His A game is to throw the ball hard, but I would think that maybe a little softer, a little more turn.
Whatever it was perfect.
Yes.
Got to follow that one up, though, right now.
Yeah, that was, as we see Parker's beautiful form, that lovely long straight arm swing coming from inside to out, ball rolling down the lane and grabbing and coming in high flush. There he is coming right at us. You can see that arm swing as it goes directly towards his target. He knows he made a good shot. The pins respond.
Lead is down to 20, can cut it to 10 with one more here. And does. Ooh,
now there's a break. There's a break for Parker. I mean, it was a very, very good shot, but it wasn't 10 in the pit. He needs to be able to widen that pocket. You can't just rely on getting the high pocket flush hit strikes. You need to have some friendly light hits, maybe a trip 10 here, trip 4, trip 6.
Trip something.
Yeah.
Ward leading by 10. And a solid 7. Great shot. The 7-pin does not cooperate.
And I believe that the 4-pin did touch that 7-pin as it went around, because you can kind of see the 7-pin jump, but it didn't jump far enough off the lane.
Cross lane at the 7-pin, changes balls. Has it dead center.
As you can see, here's his ball. There's the 4-pin. Does it touch it? Well, I'm not sure.
Maybe the building rock. You know, we are in California where they have earthquakes, so.
Please, let's not go there.
9
Ricky
pins
Ward,
the difference.
Just 9 pins ahead right now. Working on a spare. Left lane.
Another good shot, but leaves a solid 6, so a solid 7, solid 6. Keeping it in the 1-2 pocket, making good shots. That's his goal, as he said in the little soundbite we had.
And his bowling goals are just to win another title. Wants to take it one at a time. Will he hook the ball?
Ricky Ward at the 6-pin, converts it. He leads by only 8 pins. Parker Bowe working on 3 in a row. Will he continue that string? We'll find out when we continue after this. See the proprietor there, Jim, how do you pronounce it?
Wangerman.
Wangerman, okay.
Good friend of professional bowling, good friend of bowling.
Parker backs off as something disturbed his concentration. An opportunity for him to take the lead for the first time in the match here in the 6th frame of the semifinal match. Send it way out there. Carey is yelling at it, and it doesn't cooperate. Solid 7-pin, great shot. Players are really performing well.
Yeah, and he did what he had to do. Made a good shot, threw the ball in the pocket. Thought he might get a strike out of it. Maybe deserved to get a strike, but he's going to have to settle for making a spare hard and straight.
And women's basketball, the Vanderbilt University Commodores travel to Knoxville, Tennessee to take on the defending national champion Tennessee Volunteers tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Join ESPN for all the action of exciting women's collegiate basketball.
And now Parker trailing by 9 pins.
4 frames left.
You can see the concentration on his face.
Boy, it looked like he got that in and it held.
Well, he's got a little, he seems like for Parker that lane 17 is his lane that he likes. But he wanted to make sure that Ricky Ward finished on it because he thinks it's a lane that Ricky doesn't like. So you can see Ricky finished 5th in the Brunswick World TFC in 1997, just a few weeks ago.
Jason Couch, I believe, beat him in that opening match.
In a low-scoring affair.
This is a high-scoring affair. Strike, Flush City, 7th frame.
Here's another one of those situations where it's a very, very important part of the game. He can put added pressure onto Parker Bowe. He could take that lead from 9 up to 19.
Some of our upcoming stops, the Northwest Classic, February 22nd in Richland, Washington.
And then we've got the Oregon Classic, Hollywood Bowl in Portland, Oregon. We're looking forward to that tournament. I will be bowling in that tournament and seeing just what I can possibly do in my home state.
Well, if you do as well as Walter Ray did, then I'll be working with somebody else that day.
That will be fine.
8th frame, 9 pins the difference, working on a strike, Ricky Ward, the bowler. Oh, my goodness gracious, was a great shot. He had it written up.
I think he was pretty sure that was going to strike. That ball got off his hand just the way he wanted it, as he once again switches balls to go hard and straight for the 7-pin.
You know, he re-racked on that shot, too, and it always seems that when you re-rack and leave that solid tap, whatever it is,
it's like, why did I bother doing that?
Yeah.
I could have left the solid 7 with a bad rack, or maybe he might have struck with a bad rack.
Right.
We'll never know, but Parker knows one thing right now, that he is working on a strike, and he has once again an opportunity to take a lead, albeit 1 pin.
Still a lead.
Yeah.
A little extra time. Perfect shot. I asked him if making $109,000 last year, or would he prefer $85,000 and a win?
Better chances I have for paying a bill, so I'll take all the money I can. I figure the wins will come eventually, so I'm going to keep knocking on the door, and eventually I'm going to start closing it.
He wants to close that door this afternoon. He has a 1-pin lead heading into the 9th frame of the semifinal game.
Can take it to 11 and put a lot of heat on young Ricky Ward.
Oh, and does. What a great shot. He never missed that lane, did he?
There's his caddy. That's Tim Floyd Jr. And Parker wanted me to make it a point to say hi for him. He's having fun on TV.
What a great smile he's
Yeah.
got, huh? Parker's not concerned with that right now. Can Ward answer? Oh, and wow, he has left some hard taps. 2 7-pins and a 6-pin. The message came over there and got intercepted.
Well, that messenger came across well in front of the 7-pin. You know, he wanted a re-rack before he threw that ball, Mike, but he'd already used his allotted number of re-racks, and he was not allowed to have it. Now he trails by 12 pins going into the 10th frame.
But he's still in this match.
Oh, without a doubt, he's well within reach of still winning this match. If he strikes out for 237, he would force Parker Bone to get a 9-spare strike to win by 1 pin. I think I did my math right this time.
I think you did. Big shot here. Oh, perfect ball. Perfect.
Beautiful shot. And the bowlers have really performed well this game. Both of these professionals putting the ball in that 1-2 pocket.
He looks over at the score right now and suddenly realized, I don't know if he realized before, but he knows now if he gets one more, he cuts it to 2 pins.
I think he is aware. I thought he was aware of the score before, but as you said, Mike, he's certainly aware of it now. Very important.
Snaps that 7-pin right out of there. Count's important.
The count is very important right now. With a strike, Ricky Ward will stay down by only 2 pins and will force Parker Bone to do a little more than just show up in the 10th frame.
He'll have to strike somewhere.
That's right. And he wanted that to be he'd want it to be the first one.
Fill ball. Oh, big shot. Gets 7.
Oh, that makes Parker's job a whole lot easier. Instead of having to fill 19 in this frame, now he only needs to have to fill 16. So if he were to go 6 spare strike, as he takes another re-rack, these bowlers aren't liking the racks too much today.
To get to the title match, Parker Bone, semifinal match.
Needs good count and a mark. There you go. That's a lot of fire out of Parker Bone. He wants it, and he wants it bad, as he gets a handshake from his friend Ricky Ward. And now Parker's concern is to just make another quality shot and get ready for the next match.
Second ball in the 10th. Snaps that 7-pin right out of there. That one puts him in the 250s.
And it seems as if Parker has found a line where he's going a little more direct on the right-hand lane.
Picking on my rosin bag. You hear that, Johnny?
I think he's talking to John Maz already, and he hasn't even bowled him yet. This next match is going to be fun.
Parker Bone finishes with 259. He's ready for John Mazza. We're going to be ready for championship frame when we come back. Stay tuned, please. Now it's time for championship frame. A look at our 3 previous matches. In the opening match, Walter Ray was on cruise control. This was his 6th strike of the game, 9th frame, Marshall.
As you can see, Walter with that lovely style of his, not a lot of hook, just trying to keep the ball in play, keep the momentum going.
He liked that shot.
He most certainly did like that shot, and he liked the result. 227 to Justin Romick's 214.
That earned him the right to take on Ricky Ward. 2nd in the 10th here, Marshall.
Now he needs this strike in order to win the match and go on. He gets it out a little further on the lane. He thinks it's a good shot. Well, Walter's in the way, but the 10-pin, as you can see, just didn't fall.
Well, it was in his way as he lost that 2nd match to Ricky Ward, 224 to 216, setting up a great battle between Parker Bone and Ricky Ward. Parker's up in the 10th frame, needs a mark here, Marshall.
And, of course, what's the bowler's best kind of mark? A strike. Throws a great shot. It's hooking deep into the pocket, and just a perfect shot. And watch this reaction. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Final score, 259 to 234. Parker Bone wins that semifinal match. That gives him the right now to take on John Mazza. He's ready for Mazza. Mazza's ready. Who's going to win? We'll find out when we come back. Parker Bone shakes hands with John Mazza.
Oh, you too, huh?
A little sight game going on there, or is he trying to cool him down at the last second?
I don't know. I think Parker said, "I love you too, man." And they're good friends, and they're great competitors.
10 strikes for Parker Bone. The semifinal match equally split on both lanes.
And that ball was right off his hand.
2, 4, 7, 8. Difficult spare to start the match.
You know, it's a momentum thing. You know, making a shot like that after bowling such a great game, he needs to make this, and he needs to. I believe if he was watching your tip a couple of weeks ago, you get the ball between the 2 and the 4, and make sure there's enough power on that ball to drive through and get the 8 pin.
Definitely not an easy spare. Oh, great conversion.
Does a nice job to make the spare. Now watch this shot. Basically what he does, Mike, is he just pulls this ball. This ball does not get off his hand cleanly. It is right of his target at the very, very start.
And you think that was just a lapse in concentration?
I think so. Here's our first look at John Mazza.
32 years of age and skips it right into the channel. The only thing good about that is he loses no count.
And that ball, he over-energized that ball.
What does that mean?
Well, I think he got too pumped up. He saw that he had a chance to get a nice early lead, and he just got a little too overexcited. He's a very emotional player.
John from Shelby Township, Michigan, 32 years of age. He's 5'9", 155 pounds. He's won 6 times on the national tour. Right now, he needs to knock down all 10 to get a spare.
Yeah, and I'm sure that his lovely wife, Leslie, was probably a little nervous watching that shot, but he still has a chance for the spare. Oh, that'll settle him down. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That's relief.
Well, a number of the players dipped them in the channel this week. Parker had a few this week.
Yeah, with the trajectory they were playing on both the right side and the left side, the balls were going very close to the channel and every once in a while going in. As you can see, John beat Parker Bone earlier in match play, but everything's even right now.
And in that match that he won, Parker had it won, threw one in the channel, the first ball in the 10th.
I guess they're even now.
Yeah. And they're even in this match, both with spares, difficult conversions to start the match.
Now, is that a little residual mentalness from the ball going too far left on the previous frame?
Well, he looked real quick with that follow-through. Leaves the 2-7, the baby split, changes balls.
Speaking of babies, he has a new one, Joseph, and a son, Anthony.
And folks, we didn't prescribe that segue there.
Hard and straight, and makes it the wrong way. Well, that's very lucky.
Very couple of difficult spare conversions to start this match, but knocks it down.
He wants to get this between the 2 and the 7, but he pulls it. Boy, I missed it so far. I made it.
Kind of like a Brooklyn strike there.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Very, very fortunate, as Parker Bone is now up by 2 pins.
Oh, 3-7-9, and he says no.
And he liked that ball off his hand. He threw that ball.
Heck here.
He's confused right now. He thought that was a good shot. Yeah, you come in high on one lane, you come in light on the other.
Wow.
That happens a lot. This is something where you're just going to go for the 2 pins, get the 3 and the 9. You'd be down by 10. Loses another pin and count.
His first open frame of this match and of the day. He's down 13 pins after 2 frames in our championship match here at Harvest Park Bowl in Brentwood, California. The championship match of the Brentwood Classic. I think we just kind of heard a squeaking noise right there, and I'm informed that that's coming from the ball return. It's dead quiet in Harvest Park Bowl until he lets it go. And the same thing, the 2, 4, 7, 8, and talk about confused. You're absolutely right. He's dead confused on both lanes.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got what I like to call a highlight film going, and he comes in high on one lane and makes a subconscious adjustment and comes in light on the next. it is still very, very early in this match. He just came off a match where he bowled great. You know, you almost have to wonder, is he thinking about all those telecasts without a victory?
Another difficult spare, but he has it easily, so he's still in the match, but trails by 13.
Now we'll see John Mazza. This is the first shot he threw, and he just, I thought, just got a little too over-energetic with it. Loses the ball into the channel. But he just really controls his composure, gets up the second ball, makes a great shot. He's lined in. Makes the difficult 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spare. And a friendly light hit strike.
John playing out near the channel, Parker more inside.
Parker's a little bit deeper into the lane. Right now, I give John Mazza the mental advantage because he's feeling like he has fairly good command of the lanes, and Parker Bone has not even come close. As you can see, he's got an interesting way of getting up to the line. He holds the ball in his hand as he walks to the line.
Oh, back-to-back perfect shots here.
And you can see he's not getting too excited too early. John Mazza is a very, very composed player. He's learned a lot through the years. He knows that he needs to bowl 6 more frames before he can get too excited. As we see the beautiful trophy, and that, what mountain range is that?
Diablo.
Yes,
Mount
it is.
Diablo.
That's Mount Diablo.
It's a crystal trophy. Well, Parker figures something out.
Well, and he's really staring at those pins. It's like, you were supposed to do that last frame as he's 23 pins down. Can cut it to 13.
2, 4, 7, 8 twice. Now, he's got to make a move, doesn't he?
He better be moving his feet to the right, getting the ball started in the oil a little bit sooner so it can keep the ball from breaking as quickly. When I talked to him in practice, he said the left lane definitely did hook more, and that's evident by the first couple of shots in his title match.
Oh, good shot, but leaves the 6-pin. Made a better adjustment, but not quite good enough.
It looked like possibly, and I don't want to be overcritical, but it looked like that ball might have been just a little bit short. Not extended far enough down the lane. It did look like he made the adjustment, moved in a little bit, got a little more oil early in the shot.
Cross lane at the 6-pin. He'll go straight at it. Hits it flush.
No problem for making that spare. Right now, Parker Bone's biggest problem is starting to bowl on lane 18. His name is John Mazza.
Well, Parker was egging John to come over. He was ready for him, but John is up to the challenge so far through 4 frames.
It's just a very unfortunate way for Parker to start. As you see John Mazza going for 3.
It's NHL hockey. Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers travel to the state of Pennsylvania to battle Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Join ESPN tonight at 8 p.m. for all the action.
Well, with a 33-pin lead in hand, as we see John Mazza, his 20th career television appearance, trying to take full advantage of it.
Up by 33, can make it 43. And does.
Well, right now, John Mazza is lined in. Parker Bone has to get it going. We'll take a look at his delivery. Watch this ball just sort of lazily rolling down and then making the hard charge right into the pocket.
Solid into the pocket.
Solid strike.
Parker working on nothing, trailing by 43, half a game to go.
And John's not watching him. Oh, and now it's just... It's just falling away. It's getting away from him.
Completely. Let's see. That's a 2-6-10. It's makeable.
It's makeable. You need to. It's like shooting the baby split for the left-hander. You want to get the ball to the left-hand side of the 2-pin, knock it into the 6 and the 10. It definitely can be made, and he definitely needs to make it.
Oh, and he does.
There's still life. And not only, Mike, does that give him that spare that he so desperately needed, but it also helps him to feel better about himself. As we watch the way he shoots at it, just like I said, get that ball to the left-hand side of the 2-pin, Knock the 2-pin into the 6, into the 10. That's the momentum builder.
He's just not putting the ball in the 1-2 like he did the game before.
You know, and you wonder where he lost it. He was in such control of the way his ball was rolling down the lane. Oh, boy.
Right back. This is the story for Parker Bone on television, the last 13 appearances that he's been on TV.
Did I just bowl 250 a minute ago?
Yeah,
That's
I
what we're
don't think
asking.
so.
I saw him do it.
I think so, Parker, you did.
Sakes. Parker.
He just, it becomes increasingly more difficult with each time this happens. Now, right now, John Mazza just has to continue to make some quality shots. He's working at a 220 pace right now, and the best Parker Bone can do is 198. He's got a 60-pin lead, and I'm kind of jealous. I want to be John Mazza right now.
As he backs off.
He hasn't taken anything for granted. He's still working very, very hard, staying well within his routine, blowing out a little air, and making a very poor shot, getting away with it. That's okay.
He was nervous on that shot.
Yeah,
amazingly enough, he was very nervous on that shot.
He backed off, didn't feel quite comfortable. I don't think he ever felt comfortable throwing the ball, but he leaves himself a very, very simple 5-pin to convert. He'll still have a 59-pin lead.
Puts that hand on the ball to start, and then walks up on the approach.
I don't think his wife Leslie is nervous right now, but maybe John still is. As we can see, this will be the first shot where he left that 5-pin, and he kind of sticks a little bit, just wasn't really set. He's going, oh gosh, what did I just do? Just made a 9 spare.
Yeah, not bad.
No, that'll at this stage of the game, that'll be just fine. You know, sometimes when all you need are marks, it's tough to keep your ball in the pocket. Because he knows the only thing he can do is give this match back. Goodbye. Come on. Oh, yeah. A little bit of a showman, or maybe a whole lot of a showman.
Well, you were saying before this match, as we look at the pin action.
Now take a look at this. The 7-pin will be the last one to fall, but what hits it? Well, it was the 4. It's got to fall. Oh, yeah.
Parker leaves the 6-pin. As I was going to say, you were saying before that Mazza, as we see his reaction to that shot.
Look at this. Yeah, he's a showman.
Kind of choreographed some of these matches ahead of time in his mind.
I think in his mind he does. He knows what he would like to be able to do, and he likes to add that kind of flair. Right now, Parker Bone is just finishing out the match. It's very unfortunate. The last time Parker bowled for a title, he bowled a great game against Mike Albee in the Touring Players Championship, the Bear Touring Players in Pittsburgh.
Lost that one, though, too, when Albee got that messenger strike in the 10th frame.
A very high-scoring match.
Yes. Parker trailing by more than we care to count. Stuffs it in there. The 9th frame. Gives it a little curtsy.
I still say Parker's going to be fine.
Don't forget next week. It's the Northwest Classic. A new day, Saturday, February 22nd, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Mazza. Everything's going John's way as he breaks up the split. Not that it really mattered. Leaves just the 7-pin.
You're going to see a lot of smiling from John Mazza when this match is over.
Cross lane at the 7-pin.
In fact, he can start smiling right now.
Yep, we've got enough right now if he doesn't show up for the 10th frame.
Well, it's been since the '94 AMF Dick Weber Classic since John has won, so it's been a couple of years, almost 2.5 years, and that's too long as far as he's concerned.
And the drought continues for Parker Bone. Mazza finishes it off strong, dices those pins apart in the 10th frame.
And Parker, always the gentleman, gives him a little bit of a congratulations.
Parker now can finish it out with 237 with a couple of more strikes.
I don't know if you saw that, but my good friend John Mazza just looked up at me, sort of gave me a wink like...
I knew it all along.
Yeah, I knew I was going to do that.
Leaves the 3-pin, doesn't care.
No, he got the job done. He did what he needed to do. He was very, very, very confident coming into this match.
At the 3-pin, John Mazza, the winner of the Brentwood Classic, finishes with 227. Plays to the crowd. They love him. He loves them. Parker takes home another good check, $8,500.
And he takes home a lot of disappointment. As you can see, John, I think he's hugging his ball rep. Boy, those pros like their ball reps.
And the ball reps like them when they make television.
Yeah. Well,
This is the spare, so a disappointing performance in the championship match by Parker Bohn. But we'll be back to talk to John Mazza. He's the champion. Receives the hug, a standing ovation. What is he going to have to say? Well, we'll find out when we come back. Stay with us, please. Champion of the Brentwood Classic, John Mazza. John, a beautiful trophy here from the mayor of Brentwood, John Worrell. John, present that trophy.
On behalf of the city of Brentwood and all our residents and our businesses, congratulations, John, a great job.
Thank you very much. And the proprietor here, Jim Wangerman, has something a little more tangible for you. I'm sure you're looking forward to a $16,000 check from our proprietor.
Thank you. Great job. We enjoyed having you. We look forward to next year.
Thank you. Boy, Mike, what a great job Brentwood did. They did a super job. Mr. Forrester, everybody at Harvest Park Bowl did a great job. Brentwood, I love you.